Hi guys, it's Sophie. So I want to talk to you a little bit about my buying ban, my book buying ban, my plans for around the world, my TBR, all of those kind of things just wrapped up in one. I've been having to think over the last few days and trying to decide what I want to do with around the world at the moment, what I want to do with the books I'm reading, and I think I've decided on something that feels quite balanced but a nice way of doing it. So I think I've spoken about in previous videos, I'm hoping to be able to read 100 of my around the world books this year, and I'll do the remaining 94 next year, which splits the challenge in two and I think makes it feel just a bit more relaxed. It means I get to be reading like 100 books that aren't around the world in each year, so that I am mixing it up and it doesn't get chore-like, which it did at the very beginning. That said, I have got a really big TBR pile behind me, which I'm going to show you. It's going to be a bit dark. And I want to start going through that a bit quicker. I want to be picking up more around the world books. I've read from 33 countries so far, but we are midway into May, so I need to pick up the pace to try and read the rest of those because we're nearly halfway through the year now. So I'm just kind of challenging myself to do that. It's not going to be as like strict as it was last time, but I'll show you what I'm on about and hopefully it makes sense. Okay, so this top shelf here and those little books here, which are covered in my makeup, are my round the world TBR, barring the stripy book onwards, because those are ones I've been sent for review. So there's a few there. There's actually exactly 60 books there. So if you've done your maths, I've got to read 33 books, so I should have to read 66 left to make up my total. So I'm going to need to buy a few, but I should be able to clear that shelf is the idea by the end of the year. But to do so I'm going to have to be a bit more strict because I bought 52 books this year, which means I'm only 8 down. So the shelf plus the ones I've been buying has pretty much stayed the same. So I'm still going to be doing kind of 5 on, 5 off, I think. But I'm just going to be a bit more sharp about how I do it. So those of you who watched my TBR shelf tour know that I have these two new little shelves here. And these are all of the books I own that aren't around the world ones, though this one, if I read it first, may class for Columbia, but the rest of them are not around the world books. Actually no, lies. The Scandal is as well. God, I'm such a lie. Right, so there's 2 on here. Let's check. Yeah, there's 2 on here that are around the world, the rest aren't. So my plan in my head is to have this little shelf down here full of books which aren't around the world, and to keep, it's going to be difficult, to keep any books that aren't around the world on the shelf. So I can't put anything, I can't buy anything unless it fits on this teeny tiny shelf. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books, with a few chunky ones in there. So let's say probably about 10 books on my TBR that aren't around the world. And then each month I want to fill up this little section kind of from the plant to the end with around the world books, and then read from anything I fancy from these 2 shelves. I'm hoping I'm not just going to go for all 10 of those and just replace them, but I could if I wanted to. But I think that's a nice way of separating it out. It also makes it feel a bit more manageable, I suppose, because I can see the books here that I'm going to read, and I can kind of, I think I feel a bit more sense of an accomplishment when I see them and they come off this shelf. So there's 60 next door, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 books here. So that is a grand total of 76 books. I think I can probably read those in a year. I don't think that should stress me, like in the rest of the year. So that's kind of my broad plan. I'll come back and have a bit of a chat to you. So as you can hopefully see from the shelves behind me and in there, it's not really a book buying ban, but it is a appeal to myself to not buy so much. And I think that's a nice way to do it, because actually if I read books from the shelves I can buy more books to fill them up, but if I don't I can't. And at the moment everything fits there nicely. So kind of my first aim is to clear enough of those non-around the world books to fit all of my non-around the world books on one shelf. Which is fine. It means I get to read a few more new buys and stuff over the next few weeks. And I think that will make it feel like, I don't know, like kind of a bit of an achievement as well when I can fit everything on those 2 shelves. I would like, she says, tentatively, to keep those 2 shelves as my only 2 TBR shelves long term. You guys know I really like having a little TBR, and I like the idea of them migrating into my library when I finish reading them. Yeah, so I think that's probably going to take me in terms of not buying probably to August. So I may buy some books again in August. It's kind of scary. I mean, I can buy stuff in the middle, that's the thing, but I just can't buy loads, and I quite like that. I like the challenge. I spoke about in the BookTube watching tag that I really like challenges of people reducing their TBR, and I like the idea of reducing mine back so it's littler. And then obviously I have to kind of face the same thing I did this year of trying to find those around the world books to read the year after. But I think having done it already, I have an idea about what I can do and what I can't do, and the realistic element of it is whilst I can find some books, and I can obviously still link those if you're interested, sometimes they just aren't available to buy, they just don't exist, they're too rare, and I have to buy non-fiction from that country, and actually I'm kind of fine with that. I think if there's a good reason, monetary or time-wise, that I can't get to a book, then I'm fine to read non-fiction about that country. So that's kind of my overall plan for Around the World, and I'm really excited about it, and I think that's really good that the excitement about Around the World has come back. And I like giving myself TBR challenges. I really like giving myself TBR challenges, and the challenge of having those shelves clear by the end of the year feels exciting. So I'm going to keep you updated on how that goes, alongside how Around the World itself goes, obviously, and I'll chat to you guys soon in my next video. Bye!